Well, hello Rabbitohs members and supporters. Welcome to the latest episode of the Rabbitohs Insider, and what a great week it has been following that win over our arch rivals, the Roosters. But we've got to keep our eye on the ball because we've got a very dangerous game coming up against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs this Good Friday, 5 minutes past 4 out at Stadium Australia. It's a Bulldogs home game, and of course our ticketed members get access through the reciprocal rights of their membership. But let's get back to the show. The first thing we are going to tackle is our Playmakers segment. We are going to speak with Mark Ellison and John Sutton, and that segment is proudly brought to you by Zoom Video Communications. After that, we'll chat to Joe O'Callaghan, our head of Pathways, for our Pathways wrap, proudly brought to you by What If. Then we are going to our What You Need to Know segment, which is all about the Bulldogs game on Good Friday, and that is also brought to you by What If. And finally, it's the latest episode of our documentary series Glory Bound, which takes a look at the reaction to the big win over the Roosters last week and the build-up to this dangerous game against the Bulldogs. Let's get into it. First up, it's time to head over to Redfern Oval, where Mark Ellison and John Sutton run their eyes over that win against the Roosters in our Playmakers segment, proudly brought to you by Zoom Video Communications.
Once again, I'm joined by John Sutton to go through the Playmakers, brought to you by Zoom Video Communications. What a tremendous effort against the Roosters on the weekend, Sutton.
Oh, how good was it, Marcus? From the start, we were just on and played right through to the 80 minutes, and it was a great performance by the boys.
It really was, and most of the time we do this segment each week, we're talking about our left side attack and some of the great tries that we're scoring. But I think the win on the weekend came in the back at probably one of our best defensive displays in many years. So.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was one of our best defensive displays, probably the last 3 years. The boys were on from the left side, middle, and the right side. They just kept turning up for each other. Were very dominant. Some big hits going around, and it was just all around good performance. Yeah,
you were close to the action, as you have been on the field over the last few years. Hey, what is it that you feel as a player that lifts you in defence like that?
Just, everyone just talking amongst the line and bringing energy in every tackle. So, like I said, across the park we were very good.
Yeah, we did a lot of things together, and nothing was more exciting to watch than when Tupou nearly scored for the Roosters on our try line, and obviously Latrell and Ken Murray just got together. He's a big man, and they stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah, it was a very good, tackle by the boys on the try line. When you watch the clip, you can just see the South, all the boys in the picture. And the more numbers we get in the picture, the more we're going to stop the tries. So, yeah, like I said, just an awesome defensive performance, and looking forward to seeing them this week against the Bulldogs.
And then, mate, there were some really good one-on-one defensive efforts that I can remember. One of them, Keon once, Campbell, Graham and Gags, all really getting their shoulder deep into the opposition players.
Yeah, to sit Lindsay Collins on his backside was awesome. The boys really lifted off that too. So good on Keon. He had a really good game, a really good second half.
Another thing I think lifted our defence was when the player Fafita from the Roosters got sin-bin for the punch to the back head of Jai Arrow. Jai sort of pointed him out, waved him off the field, and I think when he came back on the field, our boys lifted and thought, well, they're going to do that to us. You're going to pay for that.
We didn't need much motivation to give it to them, but obviously that sort of stuff lifts the boys. And Jai once again had a really good game, coming off the bench, playing big minutes, and pulling off a couple of big shots.
And just to go away from the D, just to finish off with what a performance again from Latrell and Cody. We used to watch the Ella brothers play for Randwick Rugby, and they had an enormous ability just to find where the other players, their brothers, were. But these guys, they just blow up for each other, don't they?
Yeah, their partnership is only going to get better. You know, we see it every day of training, but you know, to see them put it in the game, especially against, you know, tough competition, and they're making it look easy. So we're only up to round 4, and you know, it's going to be exciting to see what they can do in the next coming rounds.
Well, you beat me to it, mate. Yes, we're only up to round 4 this week against the Bulldogs on Good Friday out of Stadium Australia. But a great crowd there on the weekend. We hope we get you all there this week to really cheer the boys on because they rise to the occasion.
There was some magic play there from your Rabbitohs against the Roosters. Let's hope they can double the dose this weekend against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Now, our Pathways teams, it was a mixed bag of results last week, and we caught up with our head of Pathways, Joe O'Callaghan, to go over all the games, proudly brought to you by What If.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's Pathways Wrap, brought to you by What If. Very busy weekend in Pathways just gone. On Friday night, New South Wales Cup and their curtain raiser out at Stadium Australia unfortunately went down 30-12 to the North Sydney Bears, but a lot of positives in that game. We had an action-packed day the next day here at Redfern Oval. Unfortunately, Harold Matts went down to a very strong Central Coast team. Our SG Ball continued their winning ways, knocking off the Victoria Thunderbolts 50-20 as they continue to hold top spot in that competition. And our Jersey flag opened up their season finally with a win over our rivals, the Sydney Roosters, 30-16. The weekend was topped off with our women's here back at Redfern Oval on Sunday, who unfortunately went down in a really hard-fought match, 24-18 to the North Sydney Bears. As we come to the end of March, it's a good time to look back on all our Pathways games over the last 4 weeks. And we've come up with a new section to the Pathways Wrap, our top 5 tries and our top 5 hits of the month. Some really exciting action there over the last month, and looking forward to seeing what April brings us as well. Looking ahead to this weekend, obviously the Easter weekend, so we're on Good Friday. We have our SG Ball and Harold Matts travelling out to Leichhardt to take on Balmain Tigers. Our Jersey flag will take on the Bulldogs as curtain raiser at Stadium Australia, and it tops off on Easter Saturday with our New South Wales Cup and our women's team heading out to take on Mounties, and what should be some strong games out there. As always, please double check our website for all game details.
Some big games this weekend in the Pathways, and we're looking forward to following their fortunes as well as our NRL team. Now, the NRL team, they take on the Bulldogs, and coming up next is our What You Need to Know segment, proudly brought to you by What If. Here's what you need to know about our Round 4 clash with the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, brought to you by whatif.com, proud travel partner of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Did you know since 2019, Rabbitohs members and fans have saved over $10,000 using whatif.com/Rabbitohs? Here are some key stats to look out for as we return to Stadium Australia this week. After going down 24 points to 0 last weekend and to 0 the week earlier, Trent Barrett will be bunkering down this week as he rallies his troops for a much improved performance. Expect plenty of fireworks and firepower early on. While Latrell's been setting the world on fire as of late, Corey Allen has had a rather mixed start to his career in the blue and white. There's no denying his ability though, as we all would have seen last year when he stepped up in the absence of Mitchell, followed by a State of Origin debut. In some unwanted news for Canterbury, they currently sit third for most missed tackles this year, with 111 in total. On the other side of the ledger, South Sydney sit 5th for most tackle breaks. No doubt defence will be a massive focus for Barrett's boys this week. Since the fixture began in 2012, South Sydney have registered 5 Good Friday wins compared to the Bulldogs' 3. There's been some classic and controversial Good Friday games in the past, and no doubt this match will serve up something special once again. Travelling to the game this week? Remember, members get 15% off select hotels through whatif.com/Rabbitohs. Use promo code Rabbitohs15 to enjoy these exclusive benefits. We're all pumped and ready for a big Good Friday game against the Dogs, and we hope to see you out at Stadium Australia this Friday afternoon. Now it's time for the latest instalment of our Glory-Bound documentary, where we have a look at the reaction to the win over our arch enemies last Friday night as we move ahead to this dangerous game against the Bulldogs on Friday afternoon. There's winning comps, and then there's beating the Roosters. They're both just as good in their own right.
I'm getting into it, I'm buying into what it means to the club. Everywhere you go, fans are kind of grabbing you and remind you who you're playing and all that.
What better game can you start with, start of the year for a home game against the Roosters, the old rivalry, mate. Yeah, fantastic.
Roosters running right to left.
6 minutes, Bart, see?
Nice. Good. Let's do it.
Stay behind, guys, not early. Welcome everyone to Friday Night Football.
I think we've got the ability to come out fast and hard.
Mitchell there, down the blind side, flick passes back to Gagai. Gagai steps, he'll score, brings it around, it's Walker. Walker, not Gagai.
And then just keep the foot on the throat. We just need to keep the pressure on.
Unload back to Keary, who had really nowhere to go other than here.
Yeah, and that's pressure, that's real pressure.
He's going to grow another leg, mate, against his old club, which you do, which everyone does. And I reckon they've got blind tonight.
Mitchell joined in, and they're going in to score again. The Roberts Gagai this time. Reynolds, Walker, and Latrell Mitchell.
Get them the ball and they'll make the best decisions for the team.
Josh gets it back on the inside, and pushed back.
Great defence. Latrell Mitchell.
So they're right under their skin. They are right under their skin, and they've plucked the young fella out and sucked him into doing something stupid, and then nearly sucked him into doing it again.
This time to Reynolds, and then away to Sewer. He got it away. It's gone from Reynolds to Graham. Graham away, and Mansour. Josh Mansour has gone over to score. Welcome home.
Well, it was only a matter of time. You could feel it coming. From the time Latrell Mitchell forced the line drop out.
So in Friday Night Football, it's the Rabbitohs at 18. The Roosters are 0.
It's going to be tough in the forwards.
That's just one of those get that India.
and it's always a bit easier to put on a show when Hollywood is in town.
My claim to fame is he actually asked me for a photo, which is good. He knows my cousin, who's an Aboriginal artist and a surfer, so I had a mutual connection straight away. So it was quite good.
So the final score, 26-16 in favour of South Sydney.
A year ago we had no football, and to wear this jersey with our names on, our members' names, and Mel wearing that out in the paddock tonight, that's something very, very special. To be back home amongst my Burrow family, we're not just a bunch of supporters. It's we are passionate, but we are absolute family.
Finishing off from Stadium Australia. Looking forward to Good Friday against the Bulldogs.
After a promising start to the season, South Sydney are set to face a struggling Bulldogs outfit for the club's annual Good Friday fixture.
I guess it's pretty good stringing a few wins together, but then again, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. Every team in the NRL is pretty good, and it just whoever turns up on the day, I guess, is gets the win. So yeah, it's pretty good getting a few wins, but just gotta stay humble, I guess.
Well done to the Rabbitohs. Far too good for their opponent.
I was so proud watching that as a South fan, and then obviously that left side with Latrell and Cody, and then Dan Gagai going over. That's possibly the most destructive side in the competition. So teams know they're going to come down there, but it's just impossible to stop. And on top of that, of all teams to beat, the Roosters, there's nothing better. There's literally nothing better, especially after putting 60 on them last year.
Full time at Suncorp, Brisbane 24, Canterbury 0.
It's always a big clash. They come in their numbers, and they're always a tough and gritty side to play against. Each game we've played have been decided by 2 or 4 points or 8 points, and it's always been that grinding type of game. So regardless of how they've played over the last couple of weeks, we're expecting them to be out the best.
Well, the Bulldogs actually beat us last time they played us. That was before the big 60 win. So you can never write the Bulldogs off, and I'm absolutely not going to write the Bulldogs off. However, as I said, we've got such a good team this year, and I think off the back of last week, I'm pretty confident. But no, you can never write the Bulldogs off. They'll be ready to go, especially on Good Friday. All their fans turn up. It's a great atmosphere at ANZ on Good Friday. So I really can't wait to get out there.
Let's go, bro.
My job ultimately is just to get Latrell getting the ball in the best possible way, and getting clean and early ball, and let him do the rest.
I love that Latrell Mitchell's leading the Dally M's. I think he's proven so many people wrong. Like this time 18 months ago, people were questioning whether he was a fullback. I think now there's absolutely no doubt he's a fullback and can be the best fullback in the competition. And currently, he's probably the best player in the competition in the first 3 rounds. So I'm expecting Latrell Mitchell to once again run right.